Welcome to our discussion of one of the most important energy processes in cells, the ATP-ADP cycle. ATP, or adenosine triphosphate, is often referred to as the energy currency of the cell, powering countless biological processes. But how does this molecule provide energy, and what happens when it's used? In this video, we'll break down the ATP-ADP cycle, its role in energy transfer, and why it's essential for life. Let's begin by looking at the structure of ATP. ATP is a nucleotide, a type of biomolecule made up of three main parts. First, adenine, a nitrogenous base. Then ribose, a 5-carbon sugar. Then 3 phosphate groups, linked by high energy bonds. The most important part of ATP is its 3 phosphate groups, which are connected by high energy phosphate bonds. The energy stored in these bonds is what cells use to power their activities. When a cell needs energy, ATP undergoes a process that converts it into ADP, or adenosine diphosphate. The process of ATP releasing energy is known as hydrolysis. When one of the phosphate bonds in ATP is broken, the molecule loses a phosphate group and becomes ADP, or adenosine diphosphate, and a free phosphate. This reaction releases energy that cells use for various functions such as muscle contraction, protein synthesis, and active transport across membranes. The energy released from ATP hydrolysis drives reactions that are essential for life. However, ADP can be recharged back into ATP, making this process cyclical. To regenerate ATP from ADP, cells use energy from catabolic reactions, processes that break down nutrients like glucose and fatty acids. This occurs primarily in the mitochondria during cellular respiration. In the presence of oxygen, aerobic respiration produces ATP efficiently through a process called oxidative phosphorylation, which takes place in the mitochondria. If oxygen is limited, cells can also produce ATP through anaerobic respiration or fermentation, but these methods yield less ATP. In these processes, ADP and a free phosphate group are combined using energy from the breakdown of glucose to form ATP again. This constant cycle of ATP being broken down to ADP and then recharged is what keeps cells powered and functioning. The ATP-ADP cycle is critical because it provides a renewable source of energy for the cell. ATP powers a wide variety of cellular activities, including active transport. ATP is used to pump ions or molecules across cell membranes against their concentration gradients. For example, the sodium-potassium pump relies on ATP to maintain the proper balance of sodium and potassium ions in nerve cells. Muscle contraction. In muscle cells, ATP provides the energy required for the contraction of muscle fibers. Without ATP, muscles would not be able to contract and relax properly. Biosynthesis. ATP supplies the energy for building complex molecules like proteins, nucleic acids, and lipids, all of which are essential for cell growth and repair. The regeneration of ATP from ADP ensures that cells always have a steady supply of energy to fuel these processes. In summary, ATP provides energy for countless cellular processes by breaking down into ADP and releasing energy stored in its phosphate bonds. Cells regenerate ATP through processes like cellular respiration, ensuring a constant supply of energy. This ATP-ADP cycle powers essential functions like muscle contraction, active transport, and biosynthesis making it one of the most critical mechanisms in living organisms. The ATP-ADP cycle is a renewable energy system vital for maintaining the life and function of cells.